Is anyone else there? Where's the gun?
When a 160 IQ teen snaps, and includes exclusive interview with the killer today.
Don't do it, Sonny. I'm not a kind of person, son. Don't do it.
Don't do it, son.
In weird ways, and me being human, I'm stuck with the same thing. Still, humans didn't act very smart.
Caller. My ambulance is already on the way. Okay? They're already coming. I need you to take a breath so I can tell you what to do to help, okay? All right.
You know what, dude? I shouldn't do scary content into more scary content, because on into this is a nightmare. I'm not gonna be able to sleep, bro. I'm gonna be like, the keeper of the forest ulti. Oh my god.
I need
to move the gun. What do I need to do? Call me.
Do not touch anything else other than what I am telling you to touch.
Somebody needs to open the door. I have units on the scene.
My son's trying to come again. Please. No. Okay, hang on.
Somebody go unlock the door.
They'll shoot you. Please, come quick.
Bro.
The 911 call you just heard was placed by James.
No. I live in the US, and at this time, games, like, it gets real hard to find a game. It's like a 40-minute queue, 30-minute queue, because, like, people are going to sleep, you know? So, we're doing this.
Alan Brazell.
But tomorrow,
just
yes.
6 days before Christmas in 2016,
Tomorrow,
when he heard gunshots coming from somewhere in his family home. Alan raced through the house to find his stepdaughter, Ashley, and her 16-year-old brother, Sonny, standing over her with a gun in hand. His wife, Nicole, screaming in the background. Alan frantically called for help. As haunting as the 911 call was, the interrogation would turn out to be even more chilling. 16-year-old Sonny proves to be one of the most stoic and emotionless suspects we've ever seen. It's hard to reconcile how someone like Sonny, with an IQ of 155 to 160, described as highly to exceptionally intelligent, has landed in this seat. When police arrived on the scene, they found the festively decorated exterior of the house masking a horror scene inside. In an exclusive interview...
Also, damn, that puzzle box was real good, huh? That puzzle box was amazing. Gotta go puzzle box marathon.
Alan and Nicole Brazell recount what they can remember from that terrifying
IQ
night.
148.
Later, we'll hear from Sonny himself.
Ashley said she was going to go to bed. Sonny was going to go to bed. He's been awake too all day and at work. So everybody was kind of tired. Alan was already, I think, in the bedroom. I think he came and told everybody good night. I went straight into the room. I just heard and put on my robe. And I think Ashley was going to go ahead and eat some soup that I had cooked. As soon as I go to sit down on the bed, the light's already off in the bedroom. I hear what I think is firecrackers. It's all my mind. Pop, firecrackers. Sonny being such a mild kid and Ashley they both were kind of like little professors, responsible kids. They got great grades in school. I know that I bought firecrackers for New Year's Eve.
Look
and
how
I'm thinking,
happy
I
she is when
cannot
she's
believe
talking about
one of them
bro.
let off firecrackers. Because I hear Ashley say, Sonny, very surprised, in shock. That's all I hear through the door. And then I hear firecrackers. So I throw back on my robe. I don't have clothes. I throw back on my robe. Alan jumps up, and so I go outside. I mean, I am furious. Like, what? Who let off firecrackers in the house? What? I can't even believe they would do this. Either one. I don't even think either one would do it.
I was closest to the door going out into the hallway. And so whenever I heard it, pretty much immediately I knew what it was, because I am a
country boy.
I'm a country boy. I'm a hunter, and I have guns, and I've always had guns. So I immediately knew what it was, but I didn't put it that it was somebody from in the house, like Ashley or Sonny. I thought somebody had came in the house,
My IQ 148, I'm too good. Plus 12, IQ 170. You just dropped 10 IQ points, bro. Actually, drop the 100, bro. Drop the 100.
Like a break-in. So I immediately reached down and grabbed my handgun.
I'm going to assume you dropped the meme. I'm going to assume you dropped the meme.
Something told me, don't take your gun out there. And of course, you have these conversations with yourself really, really fast. Like, are you crazy? I'm not going out there, because I knew it was gunfire. And I'm like, I'm not going out there without some kind of protection. Heard it again pretty much, don't take your gun out there, put it down. So I put the gun down. And I kind of tossed it on the bed and headed out the door. And when I got...
Bro, if you have guns, why do you go outside without a gun, brother? That's a mistake.
out there, I immediately saw Sonny standing there and he had a gun in his hand. Of course, I didn't know where he got the gun because it was a Christmas present that I didn't know about. So I yelled at him. I said, Sonny, I said, put the gun down.
God, and Christmas.
He was immediately obedient, as he always was. And he leaned down, he put the gun down, and I kind of grabbed him by his shirt and kind of scooted him or slung him over to the side up against the hallway there. And I said, you stand right here. I said, and do not move. He did. He just stood there. He didn't say anything, but he stood there. So we went to check on Ashley. That's when she went in.
This is
there.
all in a matter of like instant seconds. I'm like, Ashley, because I see I don't realize that I'm still looking for like a firecracker damage. I know this sounds strange, but the mind, like I'm still stuck on firecrackers.
It was at this point that Sonny's stepfather rushed back to the bedroom to find his cell phone and call for help.
That exact minute, I guess, Sonny bends down, picks up that gun again. It's on the ground. He's a little bit away from it. I have pulled Ashley from the couch, I'm a tall gal, but she was only about 5'5", lightweight, but I tried to pull her from the couch. And I realize Sonny's grabbed the gun. He runs to our bedroom. So I start screaming for Alan. Oh my God.
Sonny, don't do it. Sonny, don't do it.
Oh, he was going to kill himself.
Don't do it, Sonny. I'm not trying to hurt you, son. Don't do it.
This man runs through the house and runs to the bedroom.
Sonny, and he took off to the bedroom, and I turned around and I saw him go to the bedroom. I started toward the door. Sonny had ran around our bed to the furthest point away from the doorway. He was staring straight ahead at the door, but he was trying to change the clip in the gun, to change the magazine in the gun, because he had shot everything out of the first clip whenever he was in the living room. He's holding the gun. He's holding both of the magazines in his hand, and he's not looking down to see what he's doing. And, of course, he had never handled this gun before. So by the time I ran over there, he pushed the magazine into the gun, and he stuck the gun up to my chest from where I was at this point in time. I was up right in front of him, and I was fixing to grab a hold of him. And he was just kind of staring straight ahead, and he just started pulling the trigger.
No! What?
He had put the same magazine back in that he started with that was empty. If he had gotten the right magazine, I wouldn't be here today. I definitely wouldn't have made it. And so I snatched the gun and everything out of his hands. And I grabbed him.
Bro, that's when you grab your rifle. That's when you grab your rifle and you fucking put him down. Boom. Come on, that's when you put him down. That's evil right there. That's pure evil. That is, listen, when you put that kid down, God will reward you, trust me.
And just kind of walked him into the living room and set him on the little love seat. And he was kind of looking over the living room where Nikki was still in there with Ashley on the floor.
And he's still in dad mode. He says, sit right there and don't move, which is shocking to me because of the situation.
Bro, you beat his ass.
And
you beat his ass and you restrained him.
Wicked, horrible, heart-trembling, terrorizing thing happened. I'm doing this and I look up. He's trying to unlock the door so then the police come and get a towel. And I'm frantic. His eyes are all the dark. Suddenly, now this is someone I've been with just 30 minutes. This is my son, right? We've all been eating and snacking and on a video chat. Everything around here has become dark black. And the voice that comes out of the mouth says, because I'm literally hysterical at this point. I'm screaming, what happened? Ashley, answer me, because there is no, you would think if a whole clip, right, there would be blood, right? There's none. I'm screaming, Ashley, what happened? What happened? What happened? What? I hear the most darkest, deep voice say,
I shot her.
She can't talk to you. She's dead.
Ever cringe at those tricky game ads?
Stop!
They show you a cool game, but when you download it, surprise!
When police finally arrived to take control of the scene, they found bullets behind the couch and in the storage drawer beneath it.
Shot in the head, maybe?
The gun was found in the master bedroom, where Sonny's stepfather had left it after taking it from him.
Yeah,
police were put in the peculiar predicament of having both a suspect and weapon already established before they arrived. As paramedics raced to save Ashley's life, investigators arrested Sonny Kim and took him to be questioned before he learned his sister's fate. Please note that throughout the interview, police addressed Sonny by his middle name, Christopher. The following never-before-seen footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor, a licensed clinical psychologist, and a licensed attorney. Sonny spends a good deal of his time waiting to speak with officers, conversing
How?
with himself.
Did he just
While the audio
snap?
isn't easily
Was he
discernible,
always a
he
psychopath?
appears to be talking about computers.
Yeah, it was their top. It was supposed to be. I think that's what you supposed to. It's supposed to be $500 for their selling whatever.
He's a
Max
schizo.
speed 600K. Hey, Christopher. Hey, my name's Josh.
He's
I'm
like
Josh. I'm investigating with Columbia County. How you doing, man?
autistic, syndrome, some bullshit.
In Georgia, a minor may be taken into custody during a lawful arrest. Georgia law states that a law enforcement officer taking a child, or in this case, 16-year-old Sonny, into custody, must promptly notify the parent, guardian, or legal custodian about why the child is being brought into custody.
He turned into a streamer there for a
Once in
second.
custody, if the police want to question the minor,
Me calculating the LD50 for killing people with bleach. At 60 minus 10 and 70, then we assume the human is the same as the rat.
they may do so without the parent present, as there doesn't appear to be a definitive law that states parents must consent to interrogation of their minor child.
Let me get some chips.
While police may interrogate the minor without parental consent, the court will still determine if any statements made under a Miranda waiver are admissible. With this all in mind, the officer is free to get to the heart of the matter. He jumps right in and asks about the victim, Sonny's sister, Ashley.
Tell me about your sister.
Ashley Kim. I believe she was 22. She lived in Colorado. She recently lost her job, broke up with boyfriend. I think his name is. Who it is? She came back over here for Christmas.
Okay.
After attending a concert in Atlanta where she rented 3 days ago, I believe she left, something like that. As far as Ashley goes, that's it. Any particular information?
Chillingly, Sonny uses the past tense when discussing his sister, even though he has no way of knowing her current medical status.
I mean, has she been in town long?
Only for a few days.
When did she move out of Colorado?
I believe it was like about a year ago-ish. And then she got a job, I think, as a secretary or something around this time. Yeah, I think it was secretary. Paperwork stuff.
Dude, she
Paperwork
had
support
work.
stuff, right?
Yeah, sewing stuff, things like that.
I understand.
The officer switches back to asking about Sonny. Just like when he was asked about his sister, Sonny gives a superficial, impersonal answer.
From what I gather, you have a job, you work, and you already kind of graduated high school.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
16 years old, male.
Stating that he's 16 years old male is a highly atypical manner of speech, and an indication that Sonny may be completely detached from what just happened with his sister, since this description of himself seems to be made in third person.
Where'd you go to high school?
I was homeschooled from most part.
Okay. And then you finished up and taking some classes at GMC?
Yep.
Right. And do you have a job?
Yes.
Where do you work?
That's the problem.
Computer change.
Do you really?
Yes, on Washington.
See, that's the problem right there. Yeah, exactly, Sammy. That's the problem right there. Lack of socializing. Papa G, what's up, baby? Yeah, dude. I know, okay? I know that you think that homeschooling is gonna be better for your kid. I know that schools have a liberal agenda, a libtard agenda. I know. If you're gonna homeschool your kid, homeschool him with a bunch of other kids. They need to socialize, otherwise they become serial killers or killers like this kid. They need to socialize, otherwise they're gonna do stupid shit. And then also he's like a computer nerd, so he doesn't socialize at work. He's like this, like.
Been there a couple times. Really nice. Good service over there. But he's with the work that I've done.
Yeah, if you homeschool, it's gonna be a
Notice how intense his eye contact is. Normally, this can be an indication that someone is watching to see if the other person accepts what they're saying, especially in the case of a lie, as someone wants to see if they're being believed.
Yeah,
but Sonny has no reason to be looking for acceptance given what he's saying. Instead, this might indicate that he has some kind of social skills deficit, and he's been taught to make eye contact rather than naturally making some eye contact as part of typical conversation. He comes across as robotic so far. Here we see the officer once again attempting to connect with Sonny on a personal level by establishing common ground and building rapport. Just like before, though, Sonny doesn't appear to care and does not respond as the officer had likely hoped. With that technique rendered pointless, the officer is forced to ask Sonny more direct questions, and his response is disturbing, to say the least.
I wanted to talk to you about the events that happened tonight, okay? Can you walk me through everything that happened tonight, Christopher? Kind of start at the beginning?
Sure. So I suppose the beginning is yes.
I bet you he was never in team sports either. He doesn't look like a team sports kind of guy. This is a kid who just didn't have friends, didn't know anybody. Literally. Didn't know anybody. Oh, you can't do this to your kids, dude. You turn them into little psychopaths, sociopaths, actually.
A bit of pretext, I suppose.
Okay.
We had planned to get my father a new 1911 .45 caliber pistol. About a week ago, we picked it up from the academy. We were hiding it in my room until we could package it and put it under the tree. Basically, well, not yesterday night, but earlier, I forget. What did we?
Couple hours ago?
Yeah, a couple hours ago. It's not.
No, 1911.
This interaction shows that Sonny may not be oriented to time, which could be considered typical given the stress of the situation. He may not show any overt signs of distress, but the way he described himself a couple of minutes ago, plus his lack of awareness of exactly when he shot his sister, are indications of emotional distress.
Walked out of the room with the gun loaded. First magazine was the one with the extended grip, 8 rounds in it. Well, there was 7 rounds in it and 1 in the chamber, and then the second mag in my left pocket. This one here was 7 rounds in it.
In your
And
left
he has a
pocket?
list
Yes.
too.
Front
He has a
pocket or
list
back
too.
pocket?
Front pocket, but I also had a pair of gloves on. Yes,
So,
a pair of
you know he got bullied.
work gloves.
That might be why he was
Velcro here and here.
Sonny is clearly a detail-oriented guy, as he describes his gloves. Sometimes suspects may provide these types of unnecessary details out of nervousness and their desire to cooperate with the interrogation process.
Aunque usted no lo crea, el señor Trino Camacho y su servidor Andrés Bustamante presentamos por fin.
Sonny must at least be aware that he's in trouble, so it makes sense that he wants to be cooperative. At the same time, his mention of being male and the other details he's provided thus far could also give us a clue as to his personality type, possibly very rigid and perfectionistic.
After that, I walked out to the living room and I turned left.
He got homeschooled. He basically probably doesn't have friends, doesn't socialize, and the guy has a computer job. So Taziki, watch out, bro. You might become a serial killer. And me too. We gotta go outside and socialize.
I'm
doing good, bro. How are you?
And I put about 8 rounds into her chest from here, torso.
Sonny says ish again. This also indicates his high degree of rigidity and precision in the way he thinks and speaks.
Good.
Sonny also maintains his highly formal and rigid manner of speaking, as if he was providing step-by-step instructions to someone or telling a story. He's markedly detached from the actual event. His voice remains even, and he still is showing no signs of overt stress.
After that, my parents ran from their bedroom door.
Otherwise, we become this kid.
Door, held both the gun and the magazine in my hands, and then dropped them.
And then we're gonna stream it. That ain't gonna be me, bro.
My mother rushed to my sister's party.
I'm a
My
human
father
with
started calling
the screen. You're gonna smell me.
The way that Sonny presents being really out of touch with reality and definitely out of touch with emotions and empathy is similar to another case, that of Michael Hernandez. Michael told investigators that he wasn't angry when he killed his friend, Jaime Goff, but that he wanted to try murder.
I was planning to murder. And is there any specific reason why you planned this? No, there's not.
And once I did that, yes, so the gun was left on the ground. We were about 10 to 20 seconds after he started calling.
I'll take it.
He walked away, and I went for the gun and grabbed the extra magazine from my pocket. However, I'm not very skilled in firearms, so I didn't load the magazine correctly and was able to chamber a round. Attempted to shoot my father, once, and then I feigned putting the gun down and then tried to shoot him again. Not very good at firearms, so I wasn't able to kill him.
Jesus Christ.
After that, just took the gun away from me. I sat back down on the couch, waited for them to arrive, basically the whole process of them tending to sister's wounds. After she came back, she was pulled off on the ground. Yes, and then that's when the police arrived. I was put in cuffs and carried up to the squad car. And after that, for a while after, I can't remember what order it was either fire truck or an ambulance ride, but the rest
He
is
needs to replay his life in prison because he's not gonna.
Wow. Okay.
Sonny explains everything in a very distanced way, including his own arrest, as if he's completely detached from the world around him. Depersonalization involves feeling detached from oneself, as if observing one's thoughts, emotions, and actions from a distance. Other symptoms include feeling emotionally numb, disconnected from one's surroundings, and experiencing memory difficulties. Sonny makes no effort to hide his intentions either. He references his sister's body instead of calling her by name. Again, at this point in time, Sonny doesn't know whether she's dead or alive. He also openly admits to trying to shoot his father twice. He could have taken the opportunity to claim he had a change of heart in an effort to potentially look better, but instead admits that he wanted to and would have shot his father if the gun had not stopped working. Unfortunately, there's no other information about why exactly the gun stopped working. Chillingly, he shows absolutely no remorse and continues to sound cold, detached, flat, and methodical. He might as well be describing how to put a computer together piece by piece.
When you were putting the magazine into the weapon and chamber the round, what was your plan?
Initially, my idea was kill father, mother, sister in order of threat. So, for some reason though, I didn't go along with that. I'm not sure. Suppose I didn't really act the way I was planned.
For some reason, Sonny ranks his family in order of threat. It could be assumed that he means he intended to kill them in order of who was best equipped to disarm and stop him. But that isn't necessarily true. The officer will have to follow up on this later. For now, though, he lets Sonny maintain his train of thought.
So the thing with IQ, okay, is you might be very smart in some areas and you're a retard in others. And this guy is a retard when it comes to anything human, bro. Anything human. He's gone. Yeah.
And it's important that the interrogator doesn't interrupt once they get a
have that
suspect talking.
155 transfer.
This is because it allows them to get their full, uninfluenced account of what happened.
He's just telling
and the interrogation only gets stranger.
And the idea was walk into the bedroom. Both parents were either sleeping or resting. Kill father, kill mother, and then walk out into the living room and kill her.
Why?
Order of that's magnitude.
Why?
I forget the word, but anywho, that was the plan. However, I suppose humans act in weird ways, and me being human, I'm susceptible to the same thing. And the point of what the gloves is because I figured my hands would get sweaty in humans, nervousness in humans and such. So I wore them so I would be able to maintain my grip on the weapon and such.
Jesus Christ.
However, still humans didn't act very smart in a way. Basically, unloaded all the rounds. I meant.
Okay, this isn't 150 IQ, bro. He sounds like an imbecile. This guy's minus 150 IQ. This guy, he doesn't know many words. He's kind of stupid. This is fake.
You want to put 1 or 2 in here?
That ain't 150.
That ain't 150. I've never shot someone before, so.
Is that kind of retarded?
They seemed like blanks. I mean, basically nothing. There wasn't any discernible impact or anything. So I just kept on shooting, and then after that, I walked up to and moved to my parents' door and stood there with weapon in my right hand, and then magazine in my left hand, and then I dropped them on the ground.
Nicole Brazel, Sonny's mother, ran an embroidery business out of the house, teaching textile arts to students. His stepfather, Alan, had accepted Sonny like his own son. Sonny's sister, Ashley, was known to be outgoing and had been enjoying her time at college in Colorado. In the 6th grade, Sonny asked his mother if he could drop out of school, in large part because he felt bored. He was homeschooled for a while, and at 13, he started working for a company who his mother had a contract with, before working at a computer store. At 15, he started at the Georgia Military College, where he completed high school classes alongside college classes.
Okay, so he was smart.
Por fin ha llegado el día.
Altogether, they appeared to be the picture of a happy family. In an exclusive interview, Sonny talks about his childhood in more detail and about his relationship with his mother and sister.
My biological father left the country and went to Seoul, Korea, and my mother kept us afloat tooth and nail, and she fought for us. Prior to my incarceration, I was
abandoned your fucking demon ass.
Taking classes.
He knew you were a demon from the get-go, and he abandoned you. He was smart, bro. W-mans. Listen, whenever they tell you that men leaving their family is a bad idea, what about the fathers of the serial killers? They were smart. Now, somebody's going to say, well, they created the serial killer. No, they didn't. They got away. There's a difference. Oh, you're going to blame the men for everything? Like, you blame men for every single problem that you have? Oh.
I was, I suppose, living a good life. I was always provided for. I was always taken care of. I had loving parents.
Oh, now.
And she got us out of debt. Eventually, we were, a stable household.
You don't know what will happen until you lose it.
He's a great guy. So I have had a really wonderful set of parents that I don't think I could have asked for. I owe everything to them. Pretty much everything good in my life that they've been responsible for in some way, shape, or form. Ashley was the bigger sister. She had the kindest heart out of all of us. Ashley got a lot of our kindness. I'm not sure what I got. I lean on her a lot for a lot of things. She was, between her and my mother, they were the only two stable things I really had in my life. Ashley was someone you could always come to, and she was always put together. I could always trust her judgment. I suppose I get my morals from her.
He killed his
She had
hero.
a real heart for people. I love that about her.
He was her favorite out of everybody, and she was his favorite. They had the most in common. They were both very smart, very high IQs.
Yet Sonny manages to erase all of that personality and all of that love in the interrogation room. This clinical and detached way of speaking appears to be a symptom of depersonalization, which is closely related to dissociative amnesia and dissociative identity disorder, two very serious mental illnesses.
Did he do drugs?
There's no anger here, no emotion at all, and no indication that he had major issues with his family.
Why did he kill them?
It's almost like he was possessed and is now just describing what he saw. He's speaking like the lights are on, but nobody's home.
I suppose I just saw her and I didn't recognize her as a son, but shot the first person I saw, I suppose. Not a reaction, obviously. Actually didn't.
Was he on drugs?
Not the way I intended to. I didn't make enough room or take into account, the way humans act. Right. Being mainly me as far as humans go. Yeah. So.
With Sonny so forthcoming regarding the details of the crime, the investigator seeks to confirm what Sonny's stepfather, Alan Brazell, told them about the crime.
When your father went to chase after you in the bedroom, what bedroom was that?
It was the largest bedroom. It's the master bedroom, the one where they sleep.
Okay.
So, yeah, it had a large king-size bed.
And you told me that you had, at that point in time, he had dropped the weapon. And, then you reached down and picked it up about 20 seconds later.
It was about 2-3 feet, about a meter away from me.
Right.
So I ran from the couch, grabbed it, and then ran off. And then eventually take the magazine from my pocket.
What were you trying to do when you ran away?
My plan was to grab the weapon and load the magazine and shoot my father. Yeah. And then shoot my mother.
Okay. Yeah. And your father ran after you and caught you in the bedroom.
Yes.
And you did not have a chance to load the magazine at that point in time? What happened?
I did load it, but I fumbled with it. And I did load it into the gun, not all the way though.
Right.
So I wasn't able to pull back the hammer all the way. So I'd slide back all the way. The second time after I feigned, putting the gun down after he told me, don't do it, etc. After I put it back, I tried to send the magazine back in with the back of my wrist about here.
Right.
And then pulled the slide back out. But
Right,
that didn't solve it either. So he ended up taking the firearm away from me and then walked back to the living room.
Did you attempt to pull the trigger while he was coming at you?
Yes.
Okay.
Both times.
Bro, his sister might have already been dead and had been like his dad's guardian angel. He fucked up twice. Unironically, that girl might have been his guardian fucking angel, bro. Jesus Christ. He tried 2 times and the gun failed twice.
Both times. And both times it failed to fire. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay. And that's when your father caught up with you
Jesus Christ.
and took the weapon from you. Did you say anything to him after that? Or what happened after he got the weapon from you?
After that, I basically, he ran back into the living room, put the gun down on the ground, across the living room.
It was close to Christmas.
The couch was sitting, which was red. Oh, see, I believe my parents called it. It was a red couch, and he placed it on the other side and then helped my mother in attending to my sister's wounds. After he put the gun down on the ground, I did consider either running to my room where there was a loaded shotgun or running for the gun. However, I didn't act on either, so I figured my chances were low of getting either done, so I didn't think it was worth it.
With Sonny's confession recorded in more than sufficient detail, we can now tackle the question of why Sonny decided to undertake such unprovoked violence.
What were you thinking about?
The whole time.
What made you want to kill your sister and your parents tonight? What's been going on?
Well, it's been pretty good, actually. I've got a job, had classes, it's going pretty well. Nothing really is bad been happening to me. Nothing's been pretty good fun.
Put him in solitary. Add cement to the cell. He's locked in.
Nothing bad, you just wanted to do it?
Not even wanted, I just did.
Yeah, he can't be
Let's back up. Excuse me, a few minutes ago we were talking about when you were loading putting the rounds in the magazine and then loading that magazine into your weapon. And you said that the initial plan was to go to your parents' room and then shoot them first and then go into your living room where your sister was and then shoot her. Yes. What made you deviate from that plan?
How long did he plan it for?
I don't know. When I first saw my sister.
Did he snap or did he plan it for?
The first thought, I suppose, was I don't know. I was supposed to go to my parents' room and kill father and mother, but I saw my sister, and for some reason I don't know why. I remember the magazine into her torso.
Is there any reason why you want to kill everybody? I mean, did they hurt you?
No.
Have they made life miserable for you? Are they abusive to you physically?
Not now.
None whatsoever. There was no reason for it. Just
I can think of.
There's not any mommy.
In 2 words, Sonny provides what could be very important information. If he had been abused as a child, this may give some insight into his detached behavior, as ongoing physical abuse is often the accepted explanation behind pathological dissociative behavior or disorders. This could be in reference to Sonny's biological father, who was allegedly...
Everybody in my generation got their ass beat by their parents. All of my generation's parents got their ass beat by their parents and their teachers. And my parents' parents got their ass beat by the neighbor, the parent, the teacher, the priest. They weren't sociopaths. Bro, even the doctor was like, oh, you didn't take your medicine. Even the doctor beat your ass, bro. You didn't listen to your mother. Oh, your leg's broken. It's broken more, bitch.
Neglectful. But Sonny doesn't elaborate, so the officer tries honing in on a different part of the crime.
What made you want to kill your mother and father?
Yeah.
There wasn't really any motivation for it. Actually, one thing, never mind. I told you about trying to shoot my father and then failing and then trying again. Never mind. But as far as motivation for killing my parents, none really existed.
Jesus
My
Christ.
father did a lot of the chores. My mother worked quite hard at her job. Father assisted. My mother at her job. I mean, we all had a relatively good life. That's right.
Did you get a sense of satisfaction when this was going on?
No, I didn't really feel anything.
And your mother was tending to your sister's wounds, like you said, and you were considering, when she was asking you why did you do it?
Did that a number of times.
Yeah, I'm sure. What was running through your mind when she said that?
At the moment, the only thing that I was thinking of really was either the gun, and then after the gun or shotgun in my room passed through my mind, I didn't really think of much. It was just sort of.
You were still in your plan mode of, can I get a weapon and kill mom and dad?
Yes.
Is that what you were thinking? Did that make you happy?
No. I
did it make you sad?
No, I didn't really feel much. It just sort of happened.
Do you have any idea why it just happened?
Not really.
Because he's fucking crazy.
Sonny's answer of not really here is interesting. Yeah. He actually seems to not understand it himself.
No, I was going to say that an opportunity presented itself to kill my family, and I just did it for no reason, but having had weapons in my room for basically 1 or 2 years now, I've had the opportunity for a while.
Well, why did you decide tonight?
Tonight was, I suppose it was a bit spontaneous. Yeah, I thought it was 6 days to Christmas or something like that. But my mother would come in and, have to wrap the gun the next day or something along those lines. So I figured the likelihood of her wrapping the gun the next day is fairly high. So best to do it now while I still have access to the firearm.
Even though Sonny's rationale for committing the crime tonight is disturbing, it still doesn't entirely make sense. Even if the gun had been wrapped and placed under the Christmas tree, Sonny would have still had access to it and multiple other firearms he could have used in the attack.
Mercado Libre. Llegaron las tecnofertas. Disfruta del 45% de descuento y hasta...
Apparently the way you beat 160 IQs is by fucking wrapping Christmas presents. Now they can't see it. They're retarded. The fuck?
Is this something you thought about doing for a while, or is this something that you've been thinking about for the past couple minutes?
It was sort of impulsive and not really something I considered before.
Here, Sonny expresses an impulsive element to his actions, which supports the fact that he may struggle to differentiate between his thoughts and the reality of acting out his thoughts.
What ultimately made you decide to shoot your sister in the chest?
I
was trying to go viral.
Don't know. Something in my, I can't remember what it was, but something in my mind basically.
Oh my god,
loading the gun.
He saw the Logan Paul murder video. Well, the guy that was dead, right? The forest video. He saw that video and he said, you know what? I want to be famous too. I also want to have a girlfriend who's been banged by every single man in Hollywood.
And
in Hollywood. You've never heard of that one, but it's true. Holy shit. I'm so smart.
What was it doing?
Something interesting happens when Sonny tries to talk about what was going through his mind in the moments before the shooting. Well spoken up to this point, Sonny starts to stumble over his words, giving only partial thoughts.
Now that I said Hollywood, why is there no porno titled Hollywood, where the producers, right, bang the actors? So bro, you could bring in who's the fat bald guy, the Jewish guy? You could bring in Ron Jeremy to play the Hollywood guy who would have girls suck their dick. You could have him be the bald guy who went to jail. What's his name? Not Epstein. What's his name? The guy whose dick was falling. What's his name? Hollywood producer goes to jail. Epstein, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, you could have Ron Jeremy play Harvey Weinstein. Come on, bro. Hollywood. And it's a story about a young girl trying to make it in Hollywood. And she keeps getting fucked by all these producers. And the producers get sent to jail. And they fuck the really hot prison guards. Yo, I would watch the fuck out of that movie, bro.
Attempting to start his sentence over.
Something in my, I can't remember what it was, but something in my mind basically led to me.
When he isn't able to describe what he thought or felt, he reverts to talking about the physical details.
But basically ended up loading the gun, and after the gun was loaded in my bedroom, I walked out. And I suppose at that point, I don't know what I was thinking, but I suppose I just shot her. I don't really have much of an explanation.
Okay. What emotions were running through you when this
Dude,
was
shit
going
like
on?
this is scary as fuck because it's
Were you
unpredictable.
happy? Were you sad? Did you care?
Kind of.
If the kid was killing frogs when he was young,
The stuttering and stumbling
see
over
it coming.
emotional words is
But he
likely a
just-
sign of anxiety,
all of a
so he
sudden,
retreats
he had a
back into
job,
the world
good
of
life,
dissociated
everybody's happy,
details.
Christmas coming.
This could be due to a lack of comfort
And
or
then
understanding
he
of
just
emotions
kills-
to begin with.
You did nothing in killing your family. It's wrong.
That shit's scary, dude. That can
Yes,
happen
it
to
is
anyone.
socially and morally wrong.
Okay. And didn't you think you were going to get in trouble if that was to happen?
Yes, I was certainly going to be apprehended by the authorities.
Okay. But you still went through with it anyways.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. Either it was out of curiosity, boredom, or something else.
Chillingly, curiosity or boredom could have very well been the case, as Sonny admits. Although he seems to lack empathy, there's a degree of self-awareness here. When a person lacks empathy, there is little to no attention placed on how another person would feel. The presence of empathy is critical because it is, in large part, what directs moral decision-making. Without it, someone like Sonny may just act on impulse or out of sheer curiosity or boredom. Sonny identifies over and over that he doesn't understand why he did this.
It's just sort of happened. I don't really either. I don't remember.
That doesn't just sort of
I'm
happen.
suppressing memory,
Me buying
or
Codex for the
there
5th
is no
time in a
reason.
row kind of sort of
Leaning
happens.
towards this, there's not really
You
much.
killing your
sort
sister
of like
doesn't
impulsive action.
You knew you were going to get in trouble.
Yes.
You knew it was wrong.
Yes.
You knew you were going to get caught.
Me
but you didn't
feeding
care.
kind of just
Yes.
happens. It's part of the
Altogether, the detective interviewing Sonny has acquired a significant amount of evidence. The only remaining missing puzzle piece is the motive. With enough material to charge Sonny, the question of his motive will be left to be uncovered during trial.
It's like a cock. Look,
All right, well, give me just 1 minute. I'll be right back, okay?
Well, kind of deep throated.
After the officer leaves, Sonny immediately goes back to talking to himself.
Oh no! See, the 1060 would be. Oh no! Yeah, we moved on from GPUs. It was.
He's talking to
Enzo. No, not Enzo. Vytham. That's what it's called. AMD's new AM4 DDR4.
My Little Pony. He was probably a pedophile too. Yeah. Bro, every time there's a killer who's a weirdo, right? Like socially awkward, a weirdo, they always watch My Little Pony. And they always want to fuck Stardust or whatever, Rainbow Road, whatever her fucking name is. Rainbow Dash. They always want to fuck her. Always. Guys, if your kid watches My Little Pony, if your boy watches My Little Pony, you take him on a little fishing trip and he's gonna fall down the boat in that fishing trip, and there may or may not be sharks in that fishing trip. Okay? But it is your responsibility as a father to protect your family, bro. As soon as you see My Little Pony, you're going to jail because you have to kill somebody. I'm serious. In Minecraft, don't actually do that. But listen, if your kid likes My Little Pony, you guys need therapy. It's a problem. It's a huge problem. It really is.
Central architecture. I can't remember the chipset names. Yeah, the chipset names were really just important. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like. I don't know what it was. Yes, so DDR4 a bit late. I mean, it's sort of late, but I don't know.
It only takes 3 minutes for the officer to return and tell Sonny what charges he will officially be facing.
Practices
All right,
conversation.
Christopher. You are going to be arrested, okay?
He practices conversations out loud. I also practice conversations, but like a normal human, in my mind. Okay? I don't do them out loud. I also see situations in the future that might never happen. I already know what I'm gonna tell Dr. K. When I go and I see a streamer that I've watched, I already know what I'm gonna say. Why do you guys think I'm so fast with my jokes? It's all pre-recorded from like 15 years of me thinking, what am I gonna say to this person? Oh, when I meet them, what's up, dog? Yo, Elon, my boy! You know what I mean? Bro, I already know. But like a normal person, I do it in my mind.
You'll be arrested for murder. Yes. Murder for your sister. Aggravated assault on your father for trying to shoot him as well. And then possession of a weapon during the commission of a felony, okay? You expect all that though, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move forward with the charges.
Papa, what do you mean he's
I want to
on
let you know that that's
borderline
as of right now what you're gonna be charged with, okay? So just hang tight. Somebody will be with you shortly, and we'll get this underway as far as getting you transported to the jail and booked and everything like that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Tragically, Ashley Kim succumbed to her injuries before the paramedics arrived. Emergency services attempted to resuscitate her, but they were unsuccessful. She was declared dead on the scene shortly after Sonny was arrested.
You know what's funny?
In our conversation with Sonny's parents,
He said he might have killed her out of boredom. Well, you fucking dumb motherfucker. You know what you're gonna do in jail, bro? You think you're gonna be entertained in jail? You goddamn imbecile. What are you gonna do in jail? Get fucked? You're gonna get fucked by big guys. Big guys. Big blood guys. I'm gonna fuck you up your little booty hole. That's what I'm gonna do. In Minecraft. And you won't get jacked. Because you're a little soy boy. And you're gonna be talking like this. And, oh my god, please don't fuck me. And they're gonna go, oh no, we're gonna fuck you.
they remembered their daughter fondly.
She was the pretty girl that was
Nice.
unmistakably not a mean girl.
Yeah, she wasn't a mean girl. She had a good heart.
Oh my god, bro.
There's a lot of people that spoke at her funeral that said, you know, Ashley didn't have to be nice to me, but she did. She didn't hold grudges.
She was a free bird, free spirit.
She was a free spirit. She was.
Full of love. You know, love's the
She
greatest
was.
power, and she was full of love.
She was.
Full of
She was very.
Oh my god.
She was very kind, very loving.
It took this away from
Like I said, everybody loved
She
Ashley.
loved absurd things. Oh, she had
She did.
she had a terrible sense of humor about, like, what is it called? A dark sense of humor. She had the darkest sense of humor, just like the most morbid things. Her and a sister of mine too. She loved morbid. That's the thing I miss most about, like, her laughing, because she would giggle about like things that she's somebody you couldn't sit next to at a funeral. You could not. You'd be like, you sit over there because you have me laughing. Everyone's going to be looking at me. Ashley.
Well, at least she went out laughing. Maybe. Because, like, there's nothing more morbid than your own death. You know? So. Jesus Christ. Guys, if you like morbid things, you attract what you like. You understand? You attract what you like. So stop liking drama. Stop liking morbidity. Because it's coming for you. You're going to have a child that's going to assassinate you. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, she didn't realize in the power of attraction. The rules of attraction. She didn't realize it, bro.
She loved people. She saw the goodness in people. She really, really did. So many times. Matter of fact, she's who helped me forgive my ex-husband. Because I felt like he had really bailed on us. She was like, he wasn't ready to be a dad, Mom. She had such a forgiving spirit, and her giggle. I always will never forget her giggle. I thought I would at one point. I was grieving. She had a funny giggle, and she had love. And to honor her memory, I choose love. I choose to forgive everyone who's made a mistake, not just Sonny. I choose to live Ashley's joy, because she had joy, because she chose forgiveness. Because, you know, that's weighty.
My God, dude, she is a good human.
An autopsy confirmed Sonny's claim that he had shot Ashley 8 times. She had wounds on most parts of her body except for her head, including her arms, legs, and
She would have made a
chest.
great mom, too.
Despite the extent of her injuries, her death was not immediate. It was determined that Ashley's lungs had filled with blood, and she'd perished while her parents attempted to administer CPR before the ambulance arrived. However, her injuries were so severe that it was unlikely Ashley could have survived, even if help had arrived sooner. While their parents were likely grieving the
only a real like 50 Cent can survive 8 gun shoots, bro. You know,
massively traumatic death of one child at the hands of another,
only a real one.
Sonny remains unbothered as ever. After learning of his sister's demise, Sonny simply checks his watch and goes back to talking with himself.
Only a real one, bro.
I don't know, because the thing is, probably.
She didn't have the racial bond.
These things to me. Like, their R7 was like, yeah, Netflix 4K was only like on
Wait,
10.
Papa. Was it you that redeemed an emote a while ago? Somebody redeemed an emote a while ago, and I never got to it. I don't Rama.
Something like that. By the way, in Windows 10, sure, I can gather information.
Oh my God, he's just talking to himself about selling Windows.
I can't say much about it because we've seen some.
He's never gonna see a PC ever.
Blender. There's a lot of Blender. I'm never sure what is animation, UV mapping, and to.
Even when officers arrived to take him to jail, he remains stoic.
Oh my God. It might have been Troubledy. It was either you or Troubledy.
Small reticent.
I think it was Troubledy.
Christopher, he's
said,
most
"Don't
definitely
scam
that's
me
right
now."
behind you. He's going to take you up to our jail, get your fingerprint and processed,
I
and
think it was Troubledy.
get the jail paperwork started on your charges. Okay?
Mini V Zerka in the Octagon
see
or in the
stuff,
boxing, I destroy John, bro. Have you seen how John fights? I love my boy, but no, he loses every
With
time.
Sonny detained, experts were left to ponder his blatantly absent motive. There seemed to be no reason for him to shoot and kill Ashley, and then attempt to kill his stepfather, Alan.
So yeah, she was my moral compass and my safety net and big sister, all of that.
Experts could not come up with a full explanation for his actions, but they did develop a theory. It was possible that Sonny's abrupt, out-of-character violence was possibly caused by a psychotic episode.
He didn't realize for a long time. It was probably 8 months, maybe, before he even realized it. Most people will not like my answer, but the Sonny that night when this happened was my son's body, but it was not his spirit. Sonny was not there. Was there ever any kind of emotion on his face?
Not for a year and a half.
And it was bad enough that he basically, while he was in juvenile hall, awaiting trial, he had no taste. Everything tasted like burning plastic.
He had a psychological snap. Something happened. They explained to us later that everything tasted like burning plastic, all the food he was eating. So
The only thing he could eat was plain dry cereal. That's what he lived on.
Sonny apparently told a psychologist that his memory of the murder felt like watching someone else or looking into a parallel dimension.
I felt like the strings had been cut, for lack of a better word.
This is the textbook definition of a depersonalization episode. Although a psychotic episode is a possibility, Sonny isn't showing any indications of psychosis in the interrogation room. He may be talking to himself, but this could be due to stress or nervousness.
He might always do it.
It's not sufficient to conclude that he's psychotic. Sonny shows no signs of delusional thinking, and he doesn't seem to be
I mean, he could learn that if he asked Sonny, hey, by the way, do you often talk to yourself about situations? Or was that a one-time thing? Boom. Very simple. He should have asked. He should have asked.
responding to hallucinations. His thought process
If he
is
said, "No, I'd
logical
never
and
done
coherent
that."
overall, though he demonstrated
If he says, "Yeah,
indications
I've
of a
done that since I was a
developmental
child."
delay like autism spectrum disorder. Typically, psychotic episodes are preceded by changes in behavior that would have been evident to his parents or other adults, though this is not always the case. Sonny and Ashley's parents once again weigh in on this incredibly complicated aspect of the case.
And the thing I want people most to know is I know a lot of people have said since this has happened, you know, well, what about Ashley? And you know, why can you still be loyal to your son? I'm loyal to my son because, like I said, he was not there. It was not done in some kind of malicious intent. There was no fight. There was no argument. There was no fuss. There was only love between him and his sister. There was nothing crazy going on, nothing funny going on. Yeah. It was just unbelievable that it happened. And it's hard for me to even believe it now, even though I was probably the best witness that was there the whole night that actually saw. I actually saw the most. Heard the most,
without them.
Pretty much knew the most because I knew what was going on from the sounds. I knew what it was. And I was stuck by Sonny. Me and his mom have stuck by Sonny, first off, because we love him and he's our son and we'd stick by him anyway. This was not something that, you know, was like in a fit of anger, or it was not a planned out thing that, you know, that he hated her or he was jealous of her or any of the stuff that they tried to say. They tried to say that he was jealous because she was outgoing and he wasn't.
I was a single mom, and my ex-husband, I didn't have money. And this wonderful man wasn't in my life yet. And I think back about the time she had to babysit, because I couldn't afford a babysitter and be at my shop. Because she babysat him, he holds so many character traits of her. And I know other people want him destroyed, but he's all I have left of her.
Oh my God.
Additionally, while awaiting trial at Regional Youth Detention Center, Sonny reportedly harmed himself multiple times by slamming his head into the wall and biting himself so hard that he broke a tooth. Eventually, he was diagnosed by several doctors with Asperger's, along with undisclosed disorders that are similar to schizophrenia. As a result of this potential diagnosis, Sonny's defense team attempted to have his confession dismissed, claiming that it was not given when he was of sound mind. The judge ruled that while the diagnosis could be valid, a psychotic episode or any of Sonny's other diagnoses would not impede his intelligence. He allowed the video of Sonny's interrogation to be played in full. The Brazels were not pleased by this decision and maintained that some aspects of the case were mishandled from the beginning.
A few minutes later, an investigator showed up, and he was explaining the situation to me. He said, you know, we're going to take him down. He said, but we can't speak to him until his parents get there, you and your wife get there.
It's crazy. They put him in the car. I never saw that, but I was in the front yard.
Right. So they had already put him in the car by this time. They said, you know, they explained that they had to take him, you know.
Okay. I'll grant you, I will give you that the cops fucked up. I will give it to you. What other output did you want? Did you want him to be free? Because that's insane. He snapped one time, and now you're telling me that he won't snap again? The best predictor for the future is the past. What happened in the past? He killed his sister. So, you know, that can't happen. What other output do you get? Reduced sentence, a reduced sentence, not life in prison, like it should be. Okay, who's to tell me that in 20 years he's not going to have another psychotic episode and kill you? You can't tell me he's not going to do it. Yeah, what's the other one? You send him to Arkham Asylum? You send him to an asylum where he's going to be medicated and it's even worse than prison? You want him to be there? It's the same shit. It's prison, basically, with drugs. What's the other output? What other output? The only way it making sense that they are fighting for him is if he is sent to execution. That's the only way I can see them fight for him. Where they say, hey, don't kill him, just keep him there forever. Don't kill him. That's the only one. That's the only case.
To, I
Let's
guess,
see.
Columbia
Let's find
County
out.
Jail or whatever it was. So they took him to jail and said, as soon as we finish up here, it's a, we're going to call you and you'll have to come down so we can interview him, your son.
But as you saw in the earlier footage, neither parent was present for Sonny's interrogation.
Jail, but by 8 o'clock, we realized they're not going to talk to us at all. And so it's weeks before we can get any conversation with them. They even to get Sonny a public defender because he went into the indictment with no attorney.
It was
no
probably,
parental support, nothing. He was in there on his own, but we were begging to try to go, but they wouldn't let us.
It was probably, a year later before we actually saw the video. The first court session that we went to, we immediately started calling the police department and pretty much, got no answers. They wouldn't really tell us anything.
They told us that we couldn't talk to them because they charged him as an adult. And do you know that they didn't even give him a public defender for 4 weeks?
Ultimately, in July of 2019, Sonny pleaded guilty by reason of mental illness to murder, aggravated assault, and 2 counts of possession of a firearm. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus 25 years, but will be eligible for parole in 30 years.
No.
Because he was convicted by reason of mental illness, he will continue to receive psychological counseling during that time. Sonny's parents continue to stand by him, and despite the terrible tragedy, the family has remained close.
And he tells us all the time that he is very aware and very grateful that we're still his parents and that we love him and support him because he knows that there are a lot of people in there that.
You know what? I would do the same as them. Because I'd be afraid that he was going to escape and try to kill me. So instead of me saying, I hate you, I never want to see you again, I would lie to him. Oh no, I understand. Only so he doesn't escape and kill me. Because if I press him and he really is 160 IQ, he might say, oh really? And come and kill me. You feel me?
That lost all of their family ties and everything whenever whatever they did happened.
He treasures it.
He said, I want y'all to know, he said, you can't ever know, he said, how much that I appreciate it and everything. He said, of that you're still my mom and dad, you still support me, you never threw me away, you never.
He says he works so hard in there every day to be worthy of that.
Right.
In our exclusive interview, we asked Sonny if he remembered the day of it.
Women are so retarded. Women are so retarded. Look at her fucking face. Look at her fucking face. She's like, oh my god, he's my little son. Oh my god. No, he's not, bro. He also is the killer of your daughter. Like, he isn't that same baby. Look at her face. Look at her face, bro. When they say that a mother's love is unconditional, look at this shit. This is what they mean.
Never threw me away,
look at her
you
fucking
never.
Face.
He says he works so hard in there every day to be worthy of that.
Right.
He's like, he's a man. He can't be fooled. He can't be fooled by a fucking killer. And then here's a woman.
No, he said, how much that I appreciate it and everything. He said, of that you're still my mom and dad, you still support me, you never threw me away, you
he's
never.
Smart.
He says he works so hard in there every day to be worthy of that.
Right.
Did you see? He's smart. He's pretending to love the kid so the kid doesn't kill him. And she's just a woman. She's the woman who believes her boyfriend won't beat her ass. Even though her boyfriend's beaten her ass 4 times. She's the woman who forgives her boyfriend for cheating on her. Because she believes he's not going to cheat on her again. But he cheated 4 more times. Oh my god, dude.
Worthy of that.
Right.
In our exclusive interview, we asked Sonny if he remembered the day of his sister's death.
I do, yes. It was terrifying for me. It's the strangest feeling, and it probably sounds ridiculous, I know it will. But when I walked into my room, the second I walked through my door frame, there was a shift. There's something different. I couldn't really think. My body was moving, but I wasn't able to think.
We asked how long it took for him to start processing what happened.
I think I'm still struggling with it to this day. But I suppose for the vast majority of it, I didn't speak for those first 3 or 4 months when I was at the juvenile detention center. I still don't really know what to think. There's these times when I've broken down about it, but my brain's like won't let me process it. Like every time I try and think about it, I still haven't fully processed what's happened. I know empirically what's happened, but to this day, I don't understand why it happened.
With this response in mind, we asked Sonny if he worried that a similar incident could happen again if he was released.
Yes, absolutely. It's always there.
What?
I was kind of eager to accept a plea deal. Already kind of consoled myself.
What?
But to this day, I don't understand why it happened.
With this response in mind, we asked Sonny if he worried that a similar incident could happen again if he was released.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's always there.
He's self-aware.
I was kind of eager to accept a plea deal. Already kind of consoled myself with the thought that I'll be spending the rest of my life in prison, and I'm okay with that. And I don't really know if I want to be around my loved ones, knowing that something like this could happen.
On a lighter topic, we asked Sonny to tell us a bit about his life now and what his days look like.
We normally eat breakfast at about 7 o'clock in the morning. And for me, that's when I wake up. My activities used to be different. I used to teach a math class, but nowadays mostly I just have self-studies, write a few stories. I like to read. I used to be really active, going to the library. I've lost a lot of that energy now, and most of my days are just spent idling, I suppose.
We asked Sonny what people could learn from his circumstances, and he offered us some remarkable insight.
If you do have a family member, a friend, son, daughter, child, whatever that is, experiencing symptoms of dissociation, if they're too withdrawn from their environment or their surroundings, important that they be associated with something in the world. It's important to not let people get too far gone.
Our final question was about Ashley and what Sonny would like all of us to know about her.
She was one of those rare people in the world that cared out of her heart, and she didn't do things out of some desire for potential gain or benefit. She cared for everyone, regardless of whether or not she knew them. I have a lot of great memories of my sister. I'd say if there was one thing I'd want to remember is that she was the kind of people that is very rare. Genuinely cared about people around them. I look for it now. I can truly appreciate what it means.
What's up, baby?
We want to extend the utmost gratitude to Alan and Nicole Brazel for being so open and for allowing us to share their side of this heartbreaking case.
That's a good video, but dude, that guy... Shit like that scares the fuck out of me because it's unpredictable. Listen, if your kid likes killing animals and burning shit, you might see one animal dead and you might go, you might see a thing burning and you might go, and you go, I think my kid's a serial killer. But you have time, there's a warning. If you're just chilling, right, you're chilling in the bedroom, and then your kid comes over and shoots you in the head, I feel like that's unfair. I feel like I just got cheated out of life. That's unfair. You know what I mean? That's like, bro, you didn't give me a chance. You're gonna give me clues, and you're gonna let me move. But you're gonna let me make the mistake. You don't give me clues. You gonna fuck me like that? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm gonna get fucked. Oh my god, it's 4 a.m. 4 a.m. in the morning. When a killer thinks he's Jesus, but he's not. If my kid kills birds and shit, I will find out how they just... I'm so proud. What the fuck? What the fuck? Bro, if my kid's killing birds, we're gonna go to the mountains and then, whee! He gonna fly like a bird. Jesus Christ. No, honestly, the question is, what do you do, dude? If you find out that your kid is doing all these weird ass things, what the fuck do you do? Do you tell the cops and then they come over and they determine he's not a problem and now that kid hates you because you just exposed him as a fucking weirdo? Now he's gonna get the gun, he's gonna chop your dick off and your balls and then he's gonna shoot you. You know what I mean? Like bro. Just let your kids know it's wrong to kill. You know, like, you know what I mean? So, like, what do you do, right? You can't tell the cops, because let's be real, the cops are kind of a pegger. What do you do, bro? What do you do? Do you take him to a therapist? What if the therapist, right, convinces him that he's actually not crazy and he's a normal? Bro, do you just Gestapo them? Do you just go, and you Gestapo your kids? Like, what do you do? Honestly, I'm asking, not for a friend, I'm asking for me. What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, right? Like, do you go the Dexter route? Do you teach your kid to only kill bad people? Jesus Christ. That's, yeah, I don't know. Have you ever been to a witch doctor? No, I haven't, but many members of my family swear by them. Dude, there was this one time. There was this one time where my cousin believed that there was a being in the house and it was trying to eat him, and he would wake up and be scared. And my female cousin was seeing a guy whose family was really into the occult, but like really into the occult. Okay, I was 14. Is she hot? That's my cousin, bro. No, she's overweight. The fucking Papaja. She got good genetics, but she's overweight. These Papajas, bro. So she had a, and the other boyfriend is a man. He's also overweight. He's severely overweight. And I tell him, but he don't listen, bro. He don't listen. He's a funny guy. You guys might meet him soon. But dude, so my female cousin was seeing a guy, right, whose family was really, really, really into the occult. He was like a shaman and all these things. But bro, he even told me what to say if I was in the presence of a demon, okay? And they were talking to me about how Barack Obama was a reptilian. And I went home and I looked up the videos and I was like, what the fuck? He might be. He might be a reptilian. And dude, I remember I was in the car, right? I was in the car and we were going to their home. Dude, their home stank of cigarettes and smoke, and that family was just weird, bro. I remember I was 14, I was in the car, the girl was like 19. We were in her dad's car, right? And she looks over at me. I think she might have been 21. I was 14, right? She looks over at me. She was kind of like a gothy tall girl. She was hot-ish. I would bang. She looks at me and she says, "You have really nice canines." And I went, "Thank you." And she's like, "Yeah, I like vampires." And I'm like, what the fuck? Did she want me to bite her? She was a pedo, bro. She wanted to fuck me. She wanted to fuck me, bro. She wanted to fuck me, and she was probably gonna be some insane fuck. She was probably gonna be like, yo, bite me, bro, choke me. I would have turned into a demon, bro. I would have turned into a demon, bro. It's a good thing I kept the pedophile away. It's a good thing. If I let the pedo win, see, that was the first time I beat a pedo. If I let that pedo win, bro, my life would be so different. I would be a Giga Chad who banged a 21-year-old emo girl, goth girlfriend. A real one too. Oh my god, yeah, it was, bro, they were real into the, like, occult and, like, the Jewish magic, like, legit. They talked about Jewish magic. They taught me a saying that you could say if a demon came to you. It was Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sebayot, some bullshit like that. Let me see. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Wait a minute. No. This was the saying. Okay, bro, leak my shit. It's the sacred salutation of Kudushusha and is used by the hierarchy and by the sons and daughters of the light to say hello to the Father on the throne. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's it protects you from dangers, bro. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh.
Unas talladitas.
Yeah, bro, I remember. What the fuck? So anyways, when this girl looks at me and she says, "You have really nice canines," I went, "Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh, Adonai, and she went, "Ah!" And that was my first demon. Was Khabib's record padded? Well, but there's a completely different... Going this way and you just swerved us over that way. Oh, we gotta do this. Okay, listen guys, I gotta go to bed early so I can stream early tomorrow, but look at this. This guy is a content king. This is somebody that you will not see anyone react to except for me, because I know what's good. Okay, this guy is called Whistling Diesel, and he's a wild boy, like wild boy.
Today we're gonna be launching cars.
He reminds me of
7,000
FPS Russia.
of industrial slingshot material. We're gonna be starting off small with this.
Dude, he was way too close to that.
Whoa. We're gonna be working our way all the way up to this 1,000 horsepower twin turbo Lamborghini. Also, we're just gonna do some donuts in this $4 million loft car.
Jesus Christ.
This is Triple F Collections private airstrip where there are no rules. It's an active runway, but there are no rules and we can do whatever we want. One day I was sitting down in the shop and I was like, yeah, we should build a giant slingshot and launch Lamborghinis out of it. When I was in high school, I would go up to like innocent students and teachers and just like, oh, you anyways, I'd make them out of copper. I would sharpen the end so it was like a bullet. So there's like kids with brutal injuries. We acquired the world's longest stretching material. 1 foot of this stretches to 1,000 feet.
No, it's not this.
I'm not letting go. Oh, you Dora the Explorer. Wait, that's Coco Melon.
Dude, the first video I saw of him, he burnt his Lamborghini. Or was it a Ferrari? He was driving through a cornfield and his car melted. Like, completely melted. $500,000 gone.
Launch that.
First video I watched.
Yeah, this is my van, guys. It's a normal van.
It's weird. Why does it look so weird?
Give me a wrench. We have this 10-pound ball bearing from a 1-gauge shotgun.
Holy shit, dude.
Whoa!
That's not fun. It's a loaded
Yeah,
gun
I was
right
gonna
now.
say. Have you guys seen the video of the girl with the watermelon? Dude, like, slingshots are notorious for fucking shooting back. Look at this. Bro, look at this. Blasted in the fucking face by a watermelon. Oh my fucking lord. If that happened with the steel ball, he's dead. Dude, this guy, every single video he makes, he almost dies. It's insane.